The Super Mario series is made for anyone to be able to pick up, but for those that play all the way until the end, they're met with one last obstacle course to overcome before confronting the king. This throws all the toughest enemies and jumps at you in one final effort to make for an incredible finale. At least they're supposed to. Sometimes they're half-baked and a major letdown. That's why today, we're taking a look at the final level in every mainline Mario game and ranking them from peak to bleak. And no, we're not talking final bosses here. If you want to see me rank those, watch the video in the end screen. Today we're focused on the stage that leads to that battle, so let's go. The OG Super Mario Bros. Game has one of my least favorite castles in the series, and it's not because of the weaker hardware and visuals. Considering those limitations, it still sucks. Instead of offering tough platforming, this level is another one of those mazes where you gotta find the right route to navigate through, this time with different hard-to-reach warp pipes, and any level that does that is automatically on my shit list. Also, there's an underwater section here, so it gives you the worst of all worlds, bleak. The Lost Levels is actually a step up for once, taking this game's brutal difficulty and applying it where it actually makes sense, the final level. The problem is, it once again obscures the route from you, and while it has a slew of challenging and fun jumps, having to search around for the way to go on a strict time limit isn't good. It's not. I definitely prefer this to the one in the original, but I'd rather not play either. Mario 2 USA has a pretty solid last level, which for this NES lineup is damn good. It puts most of your skills to the test, with some platforming, enemy throw-in, a great mini-boss versus a pissed-off Birdo, and my favorite part of probably the entire game, the portal bird coming to life to attack you, making for the best twist villain of all time. I'm not the biggest fan of this game, but this is one of the best levels in it, and I'm willing to give it amazing stage tier, with bonus points for being Wart's Castle instead of Bowser's. Super Mario Land takes the running and jumping you've been doing throughout the game and yeets it in the trash, locking you into a plane for a shooter level, an awful way to end the game, bleak. Mario 3 has one of the hardest final worlds in the series, so I was really excited to play the last level, the pinnacle of this hellish slate of courses. Yeah, it's pretty underwhelming. It has two different routes, which is somewhat unique for the time, but it doesn't do as much as you'd think. It's not a Sonic level where you fall from one to the next, it's just two different layouts. There is some decent gameplay here, lots of lava to hop over precisely, and these cool Bowser statues that shoot lasers. Honestly though, half the levels from World 8 feel more climactic than this, and it doesn't even stand out from the other castles in this game, so do better next time, guys. They listen to me. Super Mario World takes the concept of having multiple ways to go and fully fleshes it out, presenting numbered doors to choose from, each with their own unique section to get through, and it allows the challenges to vary way more. Now of course, some routes are better and more enjoyable than others, but having so many paths allowed them to throw just about everything they could think of into these rooms, which sounds super creative, and it can be, but playing through it, you only see a fraction of what's actually there. Pulling together its greatest moments, it has a chance at peak, but in the way the player experiences it, it's nothing special. Mid-tier. Mario Land 2 has a nice twist compared to other games. The main bad guy, Wario, takes over Mario's castle and rigs it with traps and enemies, so even in his home turf, he's got the disadvantage. Compared to the rest of this game, which is notoriously cake, this is a major difficulty spike that I wholeheartedly welcome. It's very fair and requires mastery of the gameplay mechanics, exactly as a good final level should. On a modern display, it doesn't seem like much, but play this on that OG green little screen and it's on another level. Hard to beat, but fun to try. This is an amazing stage, no doubt. Yoshi's Island kinda pretends to be Mario World again, as its sequel, giving you another 4 doors to choose from that affect how the level plays out, and it's similarly an intriguing idea on paper that doesn't play out that well. The level opens with a long helicopter Yoshi segment, and you already know how I feel about those, but right after you get to the young Koopa King's castle, the level splits. The first 3 doors all offer pretty hard segments, whether with a giant enemy or a bunch of spikes to weave through, but the 4th one is a complete joke, giving you tons of coins and minimal danger. But after that, you get an auto-scroller where Kamek sends magic at you, and halting flow in a stage to make the player wait for the screen to move is never a good idea. Let's not do this, please. Some doors make it slightly above average, and some make it slightly lower, so it's going smack dab in the middle. Super Mario 64 has one of the most iconic last levels in the history of this franchise. Where other levels in this game are open-ended and have multiple objectives, the Bowser levels are always linear and go all out to take you down and require nothing but pure skill. This final one is no exception. Platforms bend like we've never seen before, and there's so many moving pieces and tight windows that force you to have near perfect control over the plumber. And even though this is basically the first 3D platformer, it does not hold any punches. This is just as hard now as it was back in 1996. And the build up to the big man himself is unmatched. Absolutely peak. Mario Sunshine's Corona Mountain is a sweet setting for this last stage, taking place inside the island's volcano, and the level starts off super strong, and then comes plummeting back down to Earth. Jetpacking over lava, putting out fires, and timing the spikes just right feels great. It's one of the first times the game lets you keep FLUDD for a platforming challenge, and they still somehow made it difficult, which I commend them for. Unfortunately though, that doesn't last long. You end up on this little boat and have to spray water to propel yourself forward, which is something the game made you do one other time and is so freaking slow and obnoxious. Why is this here? It kills this level, and even though using the rocket nozzle at the end to reach the top of the volcano is pretty darn rad, that boat anchors this way the hell down to another do-better tier. I mean seriously, they could have done anything else here and it'd be at least mid-tier for the setting and opening segment alone. It's a shame. Mario Bros. DS introduces a brand new gimmick for the last level, flipping the stage upside down to uncover new routes, which isn't done anywhere else in the game, and it makes for a very fresh finale. They did bring back one trope from the classic 2D castles though, and that's those damn maze sections with the split paths, and it's not all that hard, but it feels really shoehorned in and anticlimactic for the last level. It kinda balances out though, and with a decent amount of challenge, especially compared to the rest of this game, it ends up being about what you'd expect. Bowser's Galaxy Reactor is such an incredible level from start to finish. From the spotlights that shift your gravity at the start, to the fire, ice, and sand planets you jump across leading to the end, it presents every kind of obstacle in any way they could think up, and it's one of the most platform-heavy and difficult stages we've seen yet. Giant thwomps, bonsai bills, danger everywhere, and the crumbling staircase as you run to Bowser himself. It's too freaking cinematic and beautiful, without question another peak. Mario Bros. Wii doesn't offer all that much in 8-Castle. It heavily relies on these falling platforms, which weren't really used anywhere else, so they make for some interesting obstacles, but it's really nothing crazy. The downward auto-scrolling section toward the lava is unique, but also piss easy by yourself, though with 4 players, it can be chaotic as hell. They brought back that classic hallway that leads to the fight with all the fireballs, and the fake-out fight before the real deal was surprising to 7-year-old me, but retrospectively kinda tacky. Since I'm ranking the level itself and not the boss fight though, it's going down in do-better tier. It's very underwhelming, but the final phase of this battle is a top-tier moment in the game, I'll give it that. Bowser's Galaxy Generator has probably my favorite song from this entire franchise. It's so high-octane and epic, the perfect note to kick off a finale with. However, the level itself starts off rather slow, but it picks up in no time, and uses almost every power-up from the game at one point or another, so it truly tests your entire set of skills, and I love that about it. But that doesn't mean it's all that hard. It may be varied, but it's not a major difficulty spike, and I much prefer what the first Galaxy offered. It's still a lot better than those mid-tiers though. It's fun to play, and a great note to go out on. Amazing stage. And I know the actual final level in this game is the Grandmaster Galaxy, but this video is all about the final castles and the end of the story. So if you want to see me rank the hardest level in every Mario game, let me know below. Mario 3D Land takes the level design philosophy from the rest of the game and ChatGPT's a level out of it. It's exactly what you'd expect. There's some good platforming here, don't get me wrong, and without that Tanuki suit, you're in for a rough time, but aesthetically, it feels identical to every other castle. It's the same look, different day. I will give some credit where it's due though. When Bowser first appears and you're coming after him, jumping across all this lava and avoiding his attacks feels pretty intense, but can't drag it higher than mid-tier. New Super Mario Bros. 2 starts off feeling like the most generic Bowser castle, nothing to write home about at all, but after that checkpoint, the Koopalings chase you around in their clown car and send this attack at you that you have to hide behind a wall to avoid. It's another new idea, and on these treadmills it can be tricky, but most of the time you're just waiting around for the attack and standing still. This ain't game-breaking shit, I'll tell you what. And after that, it copies Mario Bros. Wii verbatim before the final battle commences. Very, very lazy. Bleak. Mario Bros. U does what the last game tried to do. Now, a clown card Bowser Jr. chases you around and actually dive bombs you throughout the level to add some spice to the typical platforming. And the impact from his car makes everything all wavy and a little tougher to navigate. Not much though, it's still a breeze. It feels shorter than the previous levels too, and once you enter through that door, cue the same fake out fight. How are they getting away with this? Come on, do better. Mario 3D World has the coolest exterior to a Bowser castle. I mean, look at this masterpiece. The level that commences from here is dope. Starts off with some lava rain, carnival-like set pieces, and nice LED lit platforms. But Bowser interrupts your flow really quickly to jumpstart the boss fight. However, unlike in Mario Bros. Wii or 3D Land, where the level clearly ends and the fight starts, this one blurs that line way more and integrates Bowser into the actual stage seamlessly, so I have to include this. There's only like 40 seconds a level before this. Meowser chases you up this super tall skyscraper, and you platform through, avoid as many clones who are slashing and charging at you, and scale to the top. There are so many things going on at once, and it feels hectic in all the best ways. Obviously, having Bowser so involved raises this tremendously, but gameplay-wise, it doesn't reach the same heights as those other peaks, so a tier below that feels right. Odyssey's last level is the Moon Kingdom, and it does things kinda backwards. It starts with the fight versus Bowser, and after beating him up and watching the innards of the moon crumble, Mario obtains his best capture ability in the entire game, the King Koopa himself. I've praised this moment time and time again, you know how good this is, and the segment that breaks out afterwards is kinda the last level of this narrative, and it's a strong one. Running around as Bowser for the first time in a mainline game feels so special, and while the layout is nothing revolutionary, it puts his abilities to work, and that's all I'm asking for. It's got 2D segments with the sprite art Bowser, some hack and slash gameplay in 3D, and there's definitely a sense of urgency throughout, which paired with the upbeat music is killer. I would give it peak, but since you're not playing as Mario for any of it, it feels kinda disconnected from everything else, so amazing it is. Bowser's Fury doesn't have a last level, it's one giant map with objectives everywhere, and the big finale is just the final boss sequence. And since I already ranked every Mario final boss in a separate video, I don't want to be redundant here, so if you want to see where it lands, check out the video in the end screen. Trust me, it's worth a watch. And last but not least, Mario Wonder has a really visually distinct last stage. Feels nothing like most of the others, thanks to the abundance of Wonder abilities that throw new things at you every couple of seconds. The colors here are so vibrant and lively, there's tons of different enemies, obstacles, allies, and returning tropes from earlier in the game, and playing it for the first time, you have no idea what you're in for, and there's a surprise around every corner. It's the embodiment of this game as a whole, overwhelming innovation, and it makes for an absolutely peak final level. And there you have it. And if you were waiting for those final boss rankings, check out the video on screen now. Thanks so much for watching, I'll see you over there.